If you've ever wondered how to take a rough piece of jewelry after casting and turn it into something beautiful and shiny, in today's video, I'm going to show you how to do exactly that with just a few minimal tools. Hi, my name is Kerry-Ann and welcome to Pastel and Paper, a jewelry subscription offering charms in sterling silver. So I'll be using my flex shaft today in this tutorial, but you can also follow along with a Dremel or a similar rotary tool, which I will leave a link below in the description, and I've used this for many years. I will also link this piece along with this piece, which you definitely need in order to use the pieces that I show you, such as this polishing mop. These little tiny colettes help you to use it with your Dremel. These are the tools that you are going to need. Most of these I did use in this specific tutorial, but some of them I didn't, such as these needle files. But I included them in the video so that you can get an idea of the basics that you would need when finishing and polishing jewelry after casting. So we have the half round file, the needle file, the sanding sticks, the grinding stone, number 5 saw blade, abrasive rolls, and in the video I called them sandpaper belts. We also have these polishing papers, which are really helpful. In the video I called them sandpaper felts, but you get the gist. They're really great. We have the polishing buffs, which I love. We also have our compounds for polishing. This is Gray Star and Red Rouge are like the top two that you will need in all polishing. We have these finger guards, which are great, especially for the girls with the nice nails and you want to protect them. You definitely need these finger guards. I also use these finger guard tape to wrap around my finger. So first thing we're going to do is remove the rough texture on this piece. It's not super rough, and this could definitely be helped more if you had a tumbler, but I don't have one, so we are going to use the half round file to get a better texture. I'm also going to keep the sprue on until we get further down the process of finishing and polishing because it's easier for me to hold because of its shape and the fact that I have long nails. So this is going to come in handy. So personally, I first want to start off by cleaning out the outer line of the heart. It's a little bit wonky. So I'm just going to take the half round file and file it forward with a circular motion. So I've finished using the half round file and this is what it looks like. We've fixed the shape on both sides. It's still rough, but it looks pretty good. This is a great surface to go onto for our next step. Before we move on, we're going to be using the sanding belts next. And when I use this, I don't need too much of a grip. So I am going to remove the sprue now with my saw. I showed you guys which number saw I'm using. And now we're going to remove the sprue. And here we are with the sprue removed. We have just a little tiny stub there at the end, which I am going to remove with this piece right here. I don't remember what this is called. I think it's called like a grinding stone. And it's just going to easily help me remove this with my flex shaft. You can also use a file to remove this, but to be honest, I don't want to. So now we're going to go ahead and use one of these. We're going to start off with the roughest one, and then I don't remember what grit this is. I think it's 400, and then move our way up to the smoothest one. I think this is 800. You want everything to be even, no scratches, no deep marks. And we can do a lot of that with just these three tools. These sanding belts, they remove a lot of metal very quickly because we're using this on a rotary device that has a motor. So you want to be very careful when doing this part not to remove too much metal, because once you do, you can't go back and it would be so annoying to have to recast this. So just take your time. The goal is to remove these deep scratches that you can see here with this tool. I almost forgot to mention that if you don't have these little sanding belts and maybe you're not able to get them for whatever reason, you can also use sanding sticks. And these are very simple and basic. They're just sticks that have sandpaper wrapped around them. And you can easily get something like this at your local hardware store, Amazon, or any jewelry specialty store for very cheap. And you could do the same thing. You can take the roughest grit that you have, your piece, and use the same motion that you did with the half round file and use it to remove those deep scratches and marks so that you could have a smoother, finer surface. So if you're on a tight budget and all you're able to get are these sanding sticks and not the sanding belts, these sanding felt sheets, I will put the proper name in the description below, are a perfect alternative. They come in a multitude of colors and each color represents a different grit. For this next step, I am going to use a finer grit than the one that I just used from the sanding belt for something more smooth to show you how I would use this. You also have the option of using something called a split mandrel, and this is a piece, a circular round piece with a split in the middle. And you can add a tinier piece of this felt sandpaper and it will wrap around it. And then you can use this with your Dremel or your flex shaft, and it could be a faster process to removing scratches and creating a finer surface if you're not able to use any other tool. These are really great. So I'm going to quickly show you the results of using this with the split mandrel. So for our last step, we are going to be using these mothing buffs with some compound. But because I have a pretty good shine on the puffy heart already, I'm just going to use one of these with some red rouge, and it's going to give me a very high shine. However, if this wasn't the case, I would be using this yellow chamois with the gray star, which is the black compound. And then I would go in with the blue chamois polishing buff with the red rouge, and then possibly with the white one because it gives like, it's softer, so I'll get a better shine on it. So for this last step, we are going to clean the heart charm. Usually this would be done with an ultrasonic, but I do not have one. That is next on my list. So I'm going to show you guys a different way to do this easily at home. Get a cup of, just a regular cup. You are going to place your charm or your piece of jewelry inside the cup. You're going to add a little bit of Dawn liquid soap, which is really great because it helps to remove all of that grease. So I'm going to pour some onto the charm. And then I am going to use a little bit of baking soda. And then some near boiling hot water. And then I'm just going to swirl this around. And then you're just going to wait for the grease to do, not the grease, the soap and the baking soda to do its work, and just leave that in for about 15 to 20 minutes until you don't really see any residue left on your piece. And there you have it, a perfectly polished heart charm. Now, of course, it's more of just like a regular heart. It doesn't have the bail on it. But for the sake of this video, I just decided to skip adding the bail and showing you how to do that and just keep it simple with the polishing and finishing process. For more videos for pastel and paper, make sure that you guys subscribe, like this video, and I will see you guys next week. Bye-bye.